Hi everyone, it is Sandra from Gracious Goodness Essentials. How are you? I'm going to do a shout out today for Myrrh Essential Oil. I think it is an oil that we don't talk about enough. I have to admit that I bought it, I smelt it, went, okay, it's actually really lovely once you get used to the smell of it. It is a resin from a tree. It has that kind of tree resiny smell to it. It is extremely grounding. But at the same time, it sat in my oil box for ages before I actually kind of pulled it out to use it properly. And I wouldn't have even pulled it out had I not been doing some research. And I was looking for essential oils that were being investigated for use within a hospital setting. And in particular, I was researching MRSA and VRE, which are both antibiotic resistant bacterias that are a real issue in our hospital system. And I was just looking to see what's being done out there in the terms of innovative research. And Myrrh Essential Oil was something that was being investigated, researched, and is being published about its use in those settings, okay? So I kind of had read this, I'd thought about it. I didn't have an MRSA or VRI infection, which is a good thing. So, you know, I didn't think to actually use it straight away. But then not long after I was down at the beach, I got bitten by a sandfly. Now, I have really bad reactions to mozzie bites. I come up with like big welts that hang around for weeks. Tea tree and lavender do well to kind of get rid of the itch, but I still have this, you know, massive welt all over me, you know, whenever I get attacked by mozzies. And we'd been down at the beach, I'd been bitten by a sandfly. Kind of hadn't thought much of it because we were down there fishing, whatever, and I kind of came home a few hours later and I wondered why my leg was sore, and it was because I had, you know, like this massive hot red welt where the sandfly had bitten me. Now, sandflies aren't poisonous, okay, but my body's reaction to it was really significant, so that within a few hours it was starting to look really quite gross, and I was thinking that I was going to have to go to the doctors to get some antibiotics, okay. It was kind of getting that significant. And then I remembered what I had been reading about the Myrrh Essential Oil and thought I'd give it a go. So myrrh is an essential oil that is safe to use neat in small doses, okay? So if you were going to do a full body application or you're going to be using it for a long period of time, then absolutely dilute your Myrrh Essential Oil, just 1-to-1 with a carrier, okay? But I was just wanting to use it on a localized area, presumably for a short period of time, because I was just trying to treat this insect bite. And that's exactly what I did. I kind of put it everywhere that I had redness, and within kind of like half an hour to an hour, I could already start to feel the heat dissipating out of it. And so I just kept on regularly reapplying it that day until I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning and it had drastically reduced in size. It had reduced in size, it had reduced in heat. And what I thought was really interesting was it almost had like a bruise kind of coming out behind it. Like the body was just processing it really quickly. And over the next kind of day or so of regular use of the myrrh, it completely went away. I was still left with mozzie bites from a couple of weeks earlier, but this massive sandfly bite that previously, when I've been bitten, has taken me sometimes up to 6 weeks before my welts would go away. This was kind of gone within a couple of days. So from that point, I was convinced. I was sold on myrrh as being really beneficial both for insect bites and kind of helping my body heal, as well as these incredible properties that I was reading about with hospital type infections. So myrrh now gets used really frequently. I do want to tell you something though. It's a resin from a tree. So this is a new bottle. This is a new bottle. I think you might be able to see that it is quite liquid in there. And if I do a drop, okay, if I do a drop, I've now learnt to really like the aroma of myrrh. You can see that it looks just like a normal drop, okay, and it's got a nice woody aroma, okay? If I show you my myrrh bottle that I've been using for a while, when you allow oils to come into contact with air, they do oxidize and you will get some evaporation. You'll get evaporation of those lighter components of the essential oil. And what you'll be left with is essentially a resin. So this will show to you just how resinous this essential oil is. So you may also find that it gets quite gunky and a little bit crystalline across the top. When you try and undo your lid, you may have to kind of put your bottle under hot water to actually dissolve some of those crystals before you can even get your lid off once you've used it a few times. Mine got so gunky that I actually popped the dripper off and just kind of shoved it in the lid, and now I just take the whole lot off, and you'll see why. So this has still got a little bit of essential oil down the bottom, and if I'll try and focus my camera and take my hand away and maybe the sun will help you see. It is now turned into a very resinousy essential oil, okay? And that's actually the colour, the concentrated colour of the Myrrh essential oil. I think it's actually very cool. It reminds me of when I was a kid and my mum used to have to put mercurochrome all over my muzzy bites. And so there you go. That's actually the colour of Myrrh essential oil when it's allowed to evaporate down a little bit. And I used to be covered in red mercurochrome dots, and of course you can't get mercurochrome anymore because it's bad for you, full of mercury, but you can get frankincense, you can get myrrh essential oil, and I actually blend frankincense and myrrh together as part of my insect bite. So there you go. That's the very resinousy myrrh essential oil. Beautiful, blended with your frankincense and some of your other trees. You can lift it with using a little bit of citrus. It actually, I think it blends quite nicely with lavender and petitgrain as well. If you're after a very emotionally grounding blend, if you are using it how I tend to use it, which is for all of my insect bites, I blend it with tea tree and lavender and myrrh and frankincense. Fantastic for skin. It's really anti-inflammatory. So if you're someone that is prone, it's also very good for your skin. So if you're someone that's prone to perhaps some redness, cracking, dry skin, something along those lines, frankincense myrrh diluted with some fractionated coconut oil or carrier of your choice. If you need something more nourishing, like a vitamin E or an almond oil, apricot kernel oil could also be helpful for you. Really beautiful. If you have something that's starting to look as though it's just starting to get a little bit infected, consider using some Myrrh essential oil in the blend that you apply to it. Don't ever hesitate to go to your doctor though and get a second opinion, okay? If you have any concerns at all about your health, your wellness, do go seek medical advice, okay? But this is for when you're trying to get on top of things, okay? And you've done your research and you think that you can provide some good self-care, all right? But there you go, Myrrh essential oil. If you don't have it, I recommend you consider it, do some research about it. If you do have it, pull it out. Pull it out, have a smell. Don't be put off by the smell if you don't like it. It is a tree resin. Consider blending it with other things. Consider using it in your insect bite ointments and concoctions that you make. Consider using it for dry, irritated skin. Fantastic as a grounding blend. Let me have a quick look at my book. Oh, mouths. Excellent for oral health. So if you're someone that's perhaps got like an ulcer or you've bitten the side of your gum or something like that, you can actually apply a little bit of myrrh, just neat onto your gums or dilute it if you wanted to. Straight onto your gums, pop a drop in a small bit of water, gargle it in your mouth. Excellent for mouth issues, good for your skin like we've spoken about, digestive upsets, and also congestion and mucus on your chest as well. So if you are suffering from a little bit of that and you're just after some relief, then consider some diluted myrrh, perhaps with some of the other furs. That would be beautiful as well, kind of on your chest and on your back as a beautiful assistance for you with that. There you go. My shout out to Myrrh essential oil. I love it, this stuff. I'll catch you next time. Bye.